quasi-gang thing.
And I had brain hemorrhaging and short-term memory loss. I was in the hospital for 2 weeks.
His knees are blown out, his shoulders are blown out and can't be repaired. Things like that to me have nothing to do with the art. I couldn't understand how defiant he started to get, and it had just gotten to a point where nothing worked. Praise didn't work, threatening didn't work, punishment, restrictions.
Eventually I told him, I'm gonna do this anyway. I'm either gonna let me go, or I'm gonna sneak out of the house, I'm gonna steal the car, and I'm gonna drive into LA, I'm gonna go hang off a bridge. And I'm gonna steal some paint on the way there.
And I remember throwing a handful of cash down the stairwell at him. And I said, pick it up and don't come back. Call me, I always want to know what you're doing, but you can't live here anymore. That, I think, was probably one of the lowest points, because the last thing you ever want to do is throw your child out of your house.
Somebody caught a tag inside my E and like went all over my whole shit. Like, oh, there's this guy right here, expert. He's got a tag in his doorway. Yeah, I wanted to be clear that, you know, I fucking went over you. You know, like. That's what's up. Oh. Okay. Whoops. This never happens. I'm way smoother than this. Ow. Ow. Woo.
My father wasn't very good at paying bills. He never had a job, per se, but he would somehow bring money in, which a lot of it went to drugs.
Like on one of his birthdays, you know, one of the rare happy times of the year and shit, I asked him how old he was, and he's like slaps me mad hard. What the fuck just happened? You know what I mean? I was like, he said something about it being disrespectful, and I'd be asking like, yeah, how old they are.
There was very little affection in our house growing up. You know, we were raised by a television. That's pretty much where we got our sense of family from.
Yo, Curls, what's up? We got those 4s in, those gray 4s, gray and black, they're hot.
So it was hard, but we just found ways to occupy our time.
I was in the bathroom of some hotel room in Jersey with like dishes in the sink that we had just finished eating. And my parents were yelling like put downs and shit at me. Like, I wish I knew exactly what it was that they were yelling at me about. It was so stupid and frivolous. They were just taking out their frustrations on me, and I just wasn't man enough for it. I couldn't take it anymore. It was just like, they've been doing it my whole life, and I was sitting there and I'm like, dude, tomorrow, I'm not coming back from school. I'm just like out. There's a lot of care and tenderness that goes into handling sneakers. And I was just like, I'm gone. And I didn't come back. I just turned 17, I think. So I didn't finish my senior year of high school. I didn't finish at all. I like skateboarded with my friends all day, and then like at the end of the night, it's like I just fucking go on the train. It was all good, and just rack everything I needed because it was just sweet like that for me to reels.
He had like a Mountain Smith backpack on the front and a Mountain Smith backpack on the back, and a skateboard and like 2 bags in his hands, and just like a gang of paint and a gang of markers and God knows what else.
Oh, like all my shit, you know, like I had my shit in my big ass bag. Fucking, I was just like my ill pillow, and I'll just like sit, and I'm on point too, you know, I'm not like fucking Daryl sleep.
everyone partying, like a lot of drugs, a lot of drinking. We were just young kids, just trying to have a good time, basically.
It was so exciting because it was like everything was like so new. I'd never done anything before. You know, spend a week in jail, be like, wow, the whole time, like, what's gonna happen next? Like, it's you know, I had mad fun. Toughened me up.
All that stuff that he held inside just exploded out, and it was really a shock.
I met my first, or just my only, like, boyfriend, Paul, and, like, you know, moved in with him in the Bronx. Total, like, domesticated, you know. I didn't know how to function, like, in a regular lifestyle. Like, you know, that was good.
Homophobia in the real world is hard enough. Imagine what it's like in the graffiti world. You know, the fact that, you know, as a black man, he's standing strong as a writer and proud of who he is and his sexuality, I think is fucking amazing.
People are like, oh, he's not even hiding it? Oh. I'm here to break stereotypes. That's why I like people know that I'm gay and shit, and like fucking, you know, and man, I'll fuck you up as a gay person, you know what I mean? And I'll write graffiti on your face and shit. And I'll beat you in a fucking game of Jeopardy. And I'll fucking like, you know, run you in some 100-meter dash. And fucking, here comes the helicopter, so we're gonna chill.
Oh, it's police.
Is it?
Yeah.
It's not police, it's security or something.
All right, well, I saw a little light.
Miss 17 and I paint illegal graffiti in very high traffic areas where it gets a lot of attention. I like to call them jock spots.
There are spots that, you know, men would be concerned about being at, you know, all hours of the night. And I know she's up there with like 17. And I mean, I've been in the boondocks in the middle of the Bronx and, you know, in crazy kind of locations, and I've been like, damn.
Chill.
When we go out bombing, we are one unit. I mean, we just take turns. One of us is going to look out, eagle eye, every direction, make sure nobody's coming. That's how you have to do it. If you don't have each other's backs, no one's going to get your back for you. PMS for life. It's the only crew I will ever rep. Going to these really fucked up neighborhoods, and essentially I'm this little white girl running around wherever I please, writing my name. And so when I teamed up with Claw, suddenly it became more obvious that I would be a victim because we had guys following us and we had guys trying to hit on us and didn't want to take no for an answer. This guy's backing up because he thinks we're hookers. They always think I'm a hooker. And a cheap one, I might add.
Anybody messes with me, I'm gonna spray him right in the face.
Stop, hold it, breathe, now.
Girl, I like your blah balls.
When we come out, if we just catch tags on the little bridge that's alongside of here, that should be hot because it's very.
Yeah.
A lot of out-of-towners are coming and bombing right up here in the little industrial zone and then leaving. I'm Wall City. I hit the Bronx.
All right, let's go. What else should we do?
We could do that shit on the Bruckner. It's right close to here.
Yeah, that'd be great.
Do we have to climb a fence to get in there?
No.
You been there, boy? I ain't seen you in a minute. Yo, what's up, Wiz? It's your boy M. Big Wiz. Play, let me get a snack. Come on, I ain't gonna snatch your fries. Come on, let me get a snack. That's that Philly stone face. Yo, I'm gonna stop through, man. I'm gonna tell Ernst we gonna get together, go hit the bar. I'll be here for Get your pass from your lady.
WAB, we ain't bullshit. White and black. That was the crew. OTM out taking money. So that'll give you a little bit of an idea of what we were about. If you're truly a graffiti writer, you cannot deny the fact that you are committing crimes. And you can sugarcoat it all you want to, but if you're breaking into things and you're stealing your supplies, you're a thief.
If you're somebody that steals paint to support the graffiti that you want to do, eventually that goes into another level. You want to go to a party, you want to look good, so you go steal some clothes to go to the party, you know what I mean?
We used to stick people up, used to rob people, a lot of fighting. I must have got locked up 6 or 7 times in one summer. And, you know, I don't know how I beat every case. I know my mom was upset because she felt like I wasn't learning a lesson here, you know what I mean? You get locked up and you go in there and you beat the case and then you walk out with that smug look on your face and she's like, wow, this is never gonna end.
But my mother, you know, as supportive as she was trying to be, she was still just my mother, you know what I mean? I didn't have a father figure, so I found all that, like a lot of youth finds it, in the street, you know? I just didn't happen to find a gang. I found it within myself, but it was still in the street, you know? One of my best friends died in this hospital, shot to death down North Philadelphia, a boy named Reed Ryan. He used to write knees, good friend of mine. Drove himself to this hospital when he got shot, died right on the table. That's a Sam tag right there. And that's old, man. My man been dead for 10 years. Sam's mom lived right there. It's whole family. And this the piece that I did for him up here. Yeah, I did this a while back. I had Espo do that with me. Sam Martinez, lost but not forgotten. There go my boy right there. That's my man right on deck. Pee-wee, Dio, and Deca. Deca Star to keep it real. Yeah, that's what we used. That's that Philly hand style with the fade right there. But I was telling you about the up fade. You see the dots popping? See that? Boom, boom, boom.
Philadelphia, we were very blessed to see our old heads come back in the past 10 years.
Cad-ism, TRK, the real king. That's what he go by. That cat has always been bombing forever, man.
I'm talking about all of them. And they took the city epidemic style. That Philly graph is so strong that once they saw one of their buddies go out, they had to go out. And somebody saw them 2 cats go out, and they had to go out. So you saw everybody. I mean, one of them was my postman. He used to come deliver my mail. I had no idea it was the bull. You know, and he was infamous. His thing, Satan. Infamous, the bull.
This a war. He got X'd out by a dude who wrote B.E. That's a bull right bait. He older than me and been writing longer than me. He'll never stop. Him, Cadism, it's like 10 of them that are like, we'll never quit bombing. Gotta respect him for that.
This dude got 2 hip replacements. He had 1 hip replacement, he was out a week later walking around. This guy's just glutton, he's an animal.
Well, I'm afraid of heights, but if I'm not willing to go where the kids are going, then they know I'm full of shit. Once I get rid of them on the street, they graduated to the billboard, so I had to figure a way to get up on top of billboards. And then once they figured out I could go up where they could go as high as they wanted to go, they stopped going up there. Because then there was no point. And then they realized they couldn't beat me. Plus, I was older than they were, I was slower than they were, there was more of them. And they, you know, so what's the point? If you know you're just gonna waste your spray paint coming in some guy's area, just find a different area. I mean, I can't stop them from doing graffiti all over the city, but I will stop them if they come in here. Nod is not. With a name like that, he ought to be not. One time the guys kept doing a billboard down here. It was like twice as high as that one. So when I was done painting, I put a memo up there to him. Next fucker up gets thrown off. Amazingly enough, they didn't do that billboard anymore. You gotta be a little crazy, I think. Otherwise, people don't take you serious.
All my bitches. When I control a tag crew, I put that on top of it, so then they kind of know that they have to stay out. It's like a joke.
Man, if they let me run this city, I'm telling you, this place would be running. And all I want is a percentage of what I save. Motherfucker, I'm retiring.
where the Oakland tracks. This is a pretty famous yard. It's been getting painted for a few decades. I've had many pieces on this wall right here. Oh, I like that Beats. That's pretty fresh. It has a lot of motion to it, you know? My styles flare out towards the bottom a little bit too because of the J and the E. And it reminds me of that a little bit, and that's why I like it. We're benching. That's an old term from New York City, from sitting in the subway stations, sitting on the bench waiting for subway cars to go by and look at the pieces.
I know that people absolutely love trains and they're really romantic about it, but I mean, I love them too. I just happen to love writing on them, and I love seeing them with graffiti on them. The motion of it is a powerful thing.
That tag I did in probably Baltimore and DC like 8 years ago. Man, it's come a long way. I grew up in Baltimore, like right on the edge of the city, suburbs. Right after my parents got married, my dad got drafted to go to Vietnam. He was a helicopter pilot, and their helicopter was shot up, and there wasn't one bolt found, a couple parts to machine guns, and they found my dad's gold wedding ring. I think it's made me bitter at times. It's made me a little bit uncaring of other people's losses in a way. I hate to say that, but it's just automatic, you know? I think about it a lot when I'm painting, you know, especially when I'm bombing. I'm proud of my dad, though. There's no doubt about that. I remember drawing the lettering from the Suicidal Tendencies first album on my bedroom wall, and, you know, to a parent, when they see Suicidal Tendencies written on their kid's wall, I don't think that went over too big. I think I wrote Graffiti Strikes, and then I changed it to Master, but I stopped writing that because people were writing Bader after my tag, and that wasn't really what I was going for. I think it's just more natural to write your name than to make up something, you know? At that point, I was getting into so much trouble other than graffiti, like, you know, breaking in businesses and stealing safes and doing smash and grabs and, like, just stealing cars like it was graffiti, like, oh, I can get the baddest car tonight, you know? Graffiti saved me from that shit. I started, like, learning that, man, my friends that I do this other shit with, they're scumbags. I don't want nothing to do with them. I want to hang out with these writers. You know, they're, like, far more interesting, honorable people.
Jace was the first person to ever take me racking. It was like a good trade-off, I guess. Like, I was the first person to take him to do freights.
If you're a train cop in a certain city, you know, everyone painting freights, they're obviously not doing it while the train's in motion. It's only stopped in, like, this handful of places, so cops started to, like, you know, just happen by those spots in the middle of the night just in case. And, like, one time, I remember I was with Evade. I just did the outline of a J, and I hear a cop car, like, just mobbing down the tracks at us. They stopped the car and, like, freeze, put your hands up. Fuck that. I jumped up on this fence. And the whole top of the fence just snapped off. And this dog jumped on Evade. Just climbs up on top of the shed. Jumped on this garage. Just launches over. Like, my foot fell through the roof. Boom, gets up, runs again. Bam. Made tons of noise. Fucked up these people's roofs. We're hiding behind a car in a driveway. Someone came up to their door. Hey, what the fuck are you doing with my car? The cop immediately stopped, jumped out. It was on again. Had to jump a fence, ran through this yard. I was running through one yard. He was running through another. We were running, like, literally, like, next to them. There was, like, some woman in her nightgown making, like, a snack in her kitchen with her back door open, and Evade, like, runs right past her. Hey, how's it going? She's like, what the fuck? You know? We hid for a few hours. In case something like this happened, I'd take my hair down. I'd just look like a totally different person because the hair is, like, down to here. I walked back to the car, went and picked up Evade. It's a full moon, and I see the silhouette of a long-haired Jace. Dude, come on.
He may not come home one night. Usually he comes back in the morning, but, you know, those are good nights, right?
So a lot of people go and they paint freights, and they'll do, like, a piece in, like, a couple of tags, and then that's it. That's like the appetizer for him.
I don't want to say it's revenge, because I'm not mad at the trains, but it's just letting off a lot of steam, just smashing car after car after car, and it's like I'm at war with the train, you know? When I've done every single thing in the yard, I feel so satisfied, you know? It's like the best feeling, like I'm not wasting my time. It all counts.
You can't be at a train crossing without seeing a line go by without at least a couple of throw-ups from him.
9 times out of 10, you're gonna see at least a JE like hollow up there. And people like bet
money on seeing a Jace throw up on, you know, at least one of those cars that every line that goes by.
If you're gonna think about freights, you're thinking about Chase.
You can't have every train. It's physically not possible. But you can have like one car on every train, or you can have one thing at every place where they keep trains. I want to be up in this whole country, not just one city or 2 cities at the same time. It's pretty rare now if I see a train go by and I don't got to throw up on it, but it does happen. There's other people that can do it. No one's done it, and it's going to take you a long fucking time. I know that. 100 cars a night, 300, 400, maybe 500 cars a week. And I did it for 5 years, 6 years, 7 years, 8 years, 9 years, 10 years. I mean, it gets up there to like 30, 40, 50,000 throw-ups. It adds up very quickly. My graffiti's seen more of this country than I ever will. It's seen everything, you know? And it kind of takes on a life of its own when you think about that.
I had 3 cars on that train that just went by.
First of all, the obstacle is getting in with all your supplies. You have to be aware of who's around you, who's going to call the police on you. If there's sensors, you know, you don't go in there slipping. And then, you know, you begin your project. And the beauty is you're the only one in the entire world at that moment that's in that position. I've been in plenty of situations where I've watched the world unfold in a way that most people don't get a chance to see it. And that's 12 stories up, hiding from a helicopter. When you're that high up and you're that visible and you're doing something so big, they pretty much can see you from a mile away, possibly. So there's a person in there looking, and he has infrared if he wants it. Oh, holy shit, your heart's pounding, and that voice inside of you that tells you not to do it, the guilt and the fear that's inside of you, your stomach turns into knots. It scares the shit out of me. I'm constantly like paranoid and fear of my own life. Those times, you know, on that 6-inch ledge where I just slipped, and it's like I've been there too many times. But if you don't do it, you don't succeed, and someone else got the spot, someone else got the fame. Every single graffiti writer is a manic depressive, insecure person, because that's the only thing that makes you want to go out and write on somebody's shit. You know, Satan's, to me, his anger stems from his separation anxiety from God, and this is what this painting's called, separation anxiety. At this moment, I got him at his weakness for the love of God. I'm not trying to be goth, I'm not trying to be satanic. These things just come out of me, and I just paint them. Another Satan, but I think I need to paint another angel now to balance it out. Sometimes my imagination just kind of goes away with me. My dreams haunt me relentlessly. Terrible, terrible nightmares. I will wake up in this kitchen you know, freaking the fuck out or moving paintings in my sleep or these weird spider dreams that are just ruthless. And, you know, I actually made a little spider and put it next to my bed so that it kind of is like my little spider protector and things. Graffiti flourishes where it's the worst, in the darkest places. You see things that you're not supposed to see. I mean, the amount of homeless sex that I've seen on the street is ridiculous. You're painting. What are you going to do? Leave because this idiot's going to go fuck right next to you and smoke crack and shit? No, you're going to keep painting, so you paint, you know? I've seen dudes coughing up tuberculosis, coughing up lung matter as he's walking along to go die in a fucking piss corner somewhere. There's plenty of dilapidated people out there that need somebody to pray for them. I mean, you know. On the other hand, people are in that position maybe because they deserve it or maybe because they made the wrong choices. Life is a dark fucking place. It's beautiful in the same token. A lot does grow in the dark. I've been coming here for 14, 15 years. But I actually fell in the river one time. I got caught in the currents. I had to get a hepatitis shot the next day. This place can be very dangerous at times. The freeway people can see you, CHP, the helicopters, and the Amtrak. It's a strange place. It's just kind of like some no man's land. A lot of texture, I guess. That's my #1 insecurity right there, and this is where I spilt the 5 gallons. And I just broke down that night. I beat the bucket for like 45 minutes. I've thrown a few fits over this fucking piece. Right now we are in the LA River on my old piece I did in 1997. Roughly about 55 feet tall by almost 250 feet across. By the end, it took about 126 gallons of rolling paint. It took me about maybe 35 nights to paint this thing. Actually, I blew my knee out on this piece. All the time on the slant, I created a groove in the cartilage, so I had to get surgery on my knee. I think the outline will hold at least another 10 years, but you know, this environment, it gets so much sun, it gets so hot, all this paint just gets baked every day. Originally, when I finished it, it was 97 gallons, but some asshole came from New York to diss it, so I came back and did the outline. In the long run, I'm actually really glad he did that because it humbled me. And the other thing is it gave me so much freaking fame in New York that it revitalized my, you know, presence. I wish it looked like it did the day I finished it, but I guess it's a blessing that it's still even here at this point, you know?
Every yard we have has a TKO, and that lets everybody know this is a TKO yard, come with respect. And they do. They usually just tag on the floor, you know? We have a lot of different riders here from Europe, New York, Mexico, Canada, and they all left their mark here on the floor. They haven't touched the murals, they respected all of our stuff, and that's good. That's respect. That's my homeboy over. He was a young kid, 21. Earlier this year, he was murdered while we were helping Tribe move her stuff. They fired one shot to the chest. And, you know, I was trying to hold his chest in because Because that's what I see on TV, you know? People trying to hold their wounds. So, wow, his blood was coming out of his mouth and nose and shit. And I couldn't help him. I screamed for help. But nobody would help us, you know? They just seen us as gang members or whatever, so why help gang members, right? We're using a payphone. We're using a fucking payphone, you know?
Honestly, it's just like the graph, man. It's a matter of the odds. You know what I mean? If you keep banging the same strip, the same street, eventually they're gonna catch you. You know, writers I grew up with, like my boy Sam Martinez, killed. Chicago, killed. There was, I mean, my boy Dream, killed. Reed, killed. All these people that I was close with, that I grew up with, that did the same type of stuff that I did. You know what I mean? They all died, and the rest of them, you know, a lot of them went to jail. At one point in my life, I got into a horrible altercation with a guy, and I paralyzed him on the left side of his body. You know, it was terrible. It was a fight, and you know, the kid was on drugs, and I had knocked him down, and he tried to get physical with me, kicked me as I was coming after him, and I kicked him in his head and fought him a little bit more. And the next day he woke up in his bed, paralyzed, pissed on himself, the whole nine. The detectives were coming for me, you know. I almost wanted to break down crying, like, oh my God, what did I do to this guy? Or I'd start thinking about his mom and what his mom was thinking about it, you know what I mean? And I wouldn't have done that to anybody. Plus, like I said, I had done so many things that had worked against me when I lost my temper, that it was really time for me to reevaluate how I was gonna deal with situations, period.
We're in the DuBois Tunnel in San Francisco. I'm only going over spots that are dissed and bullshit. Oh, it's too damn dusty. I always drink when I go painting, especially freights. Like, it takes the edge off. But Soap, you know, Bill Schiff, we were partners and painting all the time, and we were getting drunk and wasted. And 10 years went by, and I realized I hadn't gone and done graffiti once without being drunk. You know, and I pissed off a lot of friends, pissed off my girlfriend, and I'd passed out in yards before. Soap eventually took it too far, and he died, you know? And I think about him all the time. But then there's the thing with bombing. My stuff looks fucked up if I don't drink because I'm scared. And I can't concentrate on what I'm doing, and I'm like freaking out on all the sounds I hear in the background, you know? I need to get wasted, or I end up just driving around the city all night looking at spots and not getting out and painting any of them. So I've been struggling here and there. I'd stop for a while and then start up again and stop. And losing him is helping me survive right now, you know? Trying to keep my feet on the ground. I don't know, you may see me stumbling. It happens.
I have a bad temper, I guess. I'm comfortable being angry. It's roots from when I was like being a kid, I had no control over shit, you know? Like all these types of people that don't want fucking violence and graffiti, but they still want all of the, you know, spice of New York culture at the same time. It's like, you know, come on. If you can't fight, then that says something about you. You're not gonna be able to survive on certain levels. Right now, that element is like gone out of New York. I used to be able to fight, and it was okay, and it's therapeutic, you know? The cops would just break it up and send you home. That was great. Now, you fucking bump into some guy in the street, and you yell at him. Some lady has already called the cops, and they're on their way, because she's on her cell phone. Oh my God, I gotta move out of the U.S., because I can't fight in the street. I need to be able to fight in the street because I'm an angry guy. And I'm gay, and I'll fuck you up, too. You know what? And I'm gonna get up all over your fucking neighborhood and shit. All this self-control and like, all this growing and shit. It's just like sucking the life out of earshot, and I can't do it that much anymore. I'm just gonna die, you know? So, you know what I'm saying? Like, I like to fight.
You know, like, you think in your head, like, yeah, I got a bunch of fucking soldiers and they're gonna go out and do all kinds of shit. But then something happens to them and you're just fucked. You're fucked in your head because you just totally fucked this kid's life up. This kid just went out and did some stupid shit and you're gonna fucking burn in hell for it because you fucking put that shit in his head.
Ty was climbing up these stairs, so he did his throw up. And this man who had sensors on the stairs pulled him down off the pole and started beating him down with the butt of the gun. Ty screamed for his life, and as he flew down the fucking stairs face first, that motherfucker shot my friend in the back of the head and blew his fucking head off. And so...
Their wives and girlfriends and mothers look at me like, you motherfucker, you're the reason why my son, my boyfriend, my husband is going out and fucking up in the streets. Because they want to be in TKO.
His parents didn't know anything about him. His parents didn't know the legacy that he left behind, that it even mattered. You know what I'm saying? They didn't know anything about their own son.
If it was for me, then I'm ready to die, and I don't really give a fuck. But fuck if that's gonna happen, because I got a little sister that wants to see me, and I got a mom that wants to see me every fucking night when I go home. I did have a choice, but, you know, I failed to recognize the good choice from the bad choice, and could have got married, could have had kids, I could have had a good career. You know, I would have been better with my family. And I lost all that shit forever for this graffiti. I'm fucking tired. I'm tired of fighting, I'm tired of arguing, I'm tired of fucking dealing with shit. And it's weird. I never thought that when I was a kid, that how I'll be walking around with a fucking gun all the damn time.
It makes me hate graffiti.
They all got bad luck stories. Maybe that's part of the attraction of it. I don't know. I personally, I'm tired of going to funerals. I'm tired of giving eulogies. I'm tired of that. I just have like a lot of love for people that want to get out and express themselves. If you go through life just taking care of your own stuff, then you've really not lived your life. You need to do stuff to make people's lives better. Look how beautiful that is. See?
That's.
See, she wrote on the paper. That's what you're supposed to do. You don't write on someone's property. Unless they say it's okay to write on their property, then it's okay. You go write on the paper right now. That's a good idea.
I can control the destiny of these paintings a lot easier than I can my graffiti. And I'm tired of getting buffed. I'm tired of getting dissed, you know? You pretty much got to count on everything that you've ever done will get dissed, buffed, or fade away. There's over. He touched that surface, you know, he's gone. What sucks is that that's it for that kid right there. That's all he has left in this world. And one day that will be gone.
So now we are in the LA River. It smells a lot nicer in here though. I had the great opportunity to paint this. An institution like this has never included graffiti, you know?
What's more important, vandalizing or actually doing something that will last? So it's not about just being a young punk running around destroying shit.
Right now, I'm thinking about the maturity of graffiti. Where do you take it when you get older? See, I can no longer just look at it for what it is and say, that's great. I have to make it something that is positive, something that I can inspire people that, look, I went through all of that. You know the stories, you know what kind of person I was, but you can do positive things. You can change.
I think that graffiti taught me my work ethic, respect, and I thought that they were just graffiti skills, and then I learned very quickly that they're life skills.
I'm glad that she is respected and that people like her work. More importantly, that she respects herself and is satisfied with her own life. That's more important than being looked at as a cultural icon.
Do I really need to bomb the streets if people are wearing a claw on their chest? I don't know.
It's never going to be done because all the ones I did in the first couple of years, those are fading away. So you get to a certain amount, the only thing you can do is just go as often as possible, so it just gets bigger and bigger. Graffiti is like a big race, but there's no winner. All you can do is stay in the lead for as long as possible.
I'm proud of my son. I envy that passion and that talent. I'm glad he has an expression for it. If you don't like it, that's you. You know, you don't have to look at it. There's a train that goes right through the city here, 2 blocks from my house. Every time the train goes by, I look at every single car, seeing if I can spot Jason's art on it. Every time. And I think, you know, one of these days he's going to send me a message across the train.
You see that? That's my brother. I'm proud of him.
I don't care that everybody sees it, you know, I just know some people will see it. That's good enough for me, you know? Like, look, I was here, because that's all it really is. Like, look, you know what I mean? Like, this is me, you know, and like, keep it moving. And like, mad people do it for the same community of people, you know, just so that they could be like, look, guys, look, I got a new one, you know what I mean? So like, human for like people to want to do that, you know?
It's over. You know what I mean? Well, I mean, here in the United States, it's over, but the rest of you motherfuckers around the planet. Hey, they ain't buffing shit out here. Shit's staying up. It's time to move.
It's not even like I'm gonna like stop forever. I just have to maybe stop for now or for, nah, fuck that. I'm not gonna stop.
See, I should just say what it was. The older writers came back because they had a midlife crisis. They got a little bit older. They see the young bucks coming out. They like, I used to do that and I was better. So they got to go back and do it. And I think that's what's going to happen to me at some point. Then I'm going to go through a midlife crisis, but we won't call it that. We're going to call it a comeback.
You'll see me out there. Believe that shit.
It ain't even about my face. It's just about a name, about a name, about a name, about a name, about a name.
You want to date penguins, man, knock yourself out. I'm all for it. Doesn't bother me. You want to come into my bed with that penguin, now we have to sit down and talk.